This evening I'll invite Tenajan Koon to give us some Dhamma teaching. Jen Koon lives in Wat Po Sawan in Ubon province, northeast Thailand. I lived with him for a whole year when I was newly ordained in quite ascetic circumstances, a very poor monastery or in a poor part of Thailand, living very simply in the forest. But Jen Koon was a very good teacher, a good example of how to practice. And luckily his monastery now is very well supported and has grown over the years. And he's still a very inspiring teacher, so we'll invite him to give us a few words of encouragement tonight. Siripanyo. The translator, Venerable Siripanyo, has also come with the group from Thailand and lives in Dao Dam Forest Monastery on the Burmese border, and very kindly come to help us with the translation during these talks.
Homage to the Blessed, the Noble, the Perfectly Enlightened One, and to the Dhamma and to the Sangha. I ask permission from the Venerable Senior Monks here, all the bhikkhus, and my blessings to the lay people gathered here today. All of us come here to this place to practice the Buddha's teachings. Today is Friday, the 10th of April. It's the year 2552 in the Buddhist calendar. And I have this opportunity, this chance once again to meet with the lay people here and give some Dhamma reflections. I feel very happy and uplifted coming here and seeing how everybody, so many people, come here to practice the Buddha Dhamma, the Buddha's teachings. This occasion is the ceremony of the opening, the official opening of this Uposatha hall. There will be the installation of the boundary marker stones for carrying out acts of the Sangha. And this is a very auspicious occasion. I understand that many of the lay people here have come to Australia from far away, many different places. Some from Thailand, from Laos, from Sri Lanka, all Buddhists of various nationalities from different foreign countries have come together here to practice in Australia. So it's a very wonderful thing and fortunate thing that the laity of all different countries, even though they're here, have a chance still to come to the temple, to go to a monastery, to chant together, to meditate and develop themselves in spiritual practice, to make merit, to make offerings, and to develop all the paramis, the various spiritual qualities and perfections. And so the Buddha Sasana, the teachings of the Lord Buddha, wherever we go now in the world, we can find them flourishing. And it's important for us to always stick close to the triple gem, the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha. This we call the triple gem. And if we have this triple gem as our refuge and stay very close to it, keep it close into our hearts, then wherever we go, we will never be poor, we'll never be lacking. We'll have what's called noble treasure, noble wealth in our very own hearts. The underlying principles of the Buddha's teaching start with establishing a very firm foundation in our practice. And this is a practice which leads us to the end of our spiritual journey. And that we call the end of suffering, Nibbana. That's the final goal of our practice. And so the starting point, the basis for this journey in order to reach the goal is to cultivate faith in the triple gem, firm conviction, an unwavering sense of deep trust that the Buddha truly attained full enlightenment, that the Dhamma, the teachings that have spread, are truly the natural truths of our lives. They're the noble truths. And that certain truths hold true. For example, the law of karma. The law of karma is the law of the efficacy of action. Simply put, that good actions lead to good results, and that unwholesome, bad actions lead to unwholesome results. This is the starting foundation, the starting point of the journey of practicing the Buddha's teaching. Following that, the rest of our Buddhist practice can be compared to walking the journey, traveling the journey, having left the starting point. So our journey has a beginning, a middle, and an end. And this we can compare to the middle way of sila, samadhi, and panya. So this is the way. Sila is virtue, samadhi concentration, and panya is wisdom. This is the journey that we travel along. So the Buddha was the one who pointed out the way. The Dhamma is the path. And those walking on the path we call the Savaka Sangha, the noble Sangha, or the disciples of the Buddha. And that path we call the noble path, the noble eightfold path, comprised of right view, right thought, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. It's the eightfold path which leads to Nibbana. And it's the path we have to practice. We have to follow this way. And the Buddha called it the middle way, because we mustn't be too strict or too lax in our efforts. The Dhamma Vinaya, the teachings and the method of training that the Buddha laid down were always just balanced, so that we are neither too strict or too slack. The way then to develop the path is all about developing wholesome spiritual qualities, of cultivating what we call punya, or merit, or life-enriching activities or actions in our lives. And these life-enriching actions, meritorious actions, all lead to our happiness. It begins with what we call dana. Dana is offering. Offering is an act of renunciation, starting with renunciation on a material level, making material offerings. For example, people come here to the monastery and they offer the Sangha what we call the four requisites: alms food, clothing to make our robes, the lodgings, the various buildings, and medicine for sickness. The people with faith in the Triple Gem come and offer this we call sasana vattu, the material needs for the teachings or the sasana, the religion. And this is generosity. It's what we call amisa puja, material offerings. As well as amisa puja, material offerings, there's also patibati puja, making offerings through one's practice. So one can make wholesome merit or enriching experiences in our lives through making offerings. And another way to give dana and enrich one's dana is by keeping the 5 precepts. That's cultivating sila, or virtue. For lay people, it's customary to have the 5 precepts as the foundation of virtue: to refrain from taking life, to refrain from stealing, to refrain from misusing one's sexuality, to refrain from lying, and to refrain from taking drink and drugs which intoxicate the mind. So making material offerings is wholesome, it's meritorious, it's enriching. To maintain a virtuous life is meritorious. And to train the mind, this is meritorious. Cultivate the mind. And when virtue is supported or nurtured by samadhi, concentration, usually samatha first stilling the mind, calming the mind, using, for example, the in and out breathing, then our virtue is empowered. And the training in wisdom, which then follows, this is all about further cultivating our spiritual qualities and training our mind to be even more and more wholesome. And these principles can be found in a teaching of the Lord Buddha called the Ovada Patimokkha, which he gave to the Sangha on one particular occasion. And it's a very simple summary of this path. 3 points, 3 steps. Firstly, to avoid doing evil. Secondly, to do that which is good. And thirdly, to cultivate the mind. Abandoning evil is all about leading a virtuous life. We avoid those activities which are bound up with what we call kilesa or defilements. So the keeping of moral precepts supports that. Lay people will keep 5 precepts. For the monks with our particular monastic training, we have 227 primary precepts. And then the second step, doing that which is good. What doing good means is then developing the mind to be wholesome and developing it more and more so that it grows more and more wholesome. And the third step, to purify the mind. This is the development or the developing wisdom, panya. Panya is the fruit of, wisdom is the fruit of a purified mind. Another word for this is vipassana, insight. Vipassana means seeing very clearly the truth of nature in a way where our mind becomes free from greed, hatred and delusion. These things are called defilements. These are the states of mind which defile the mind. So it's to avoid evil, to do good, and cultivate the mind. So in training our mind, cultivating our mind, this leads us to begin to understand the Dhamma. And this word Dhamma, what is Dhamma? One way of understanding it is that Dhamma, phenomena, is our own, what we call rupa and nama, our body and mind, or our material, the aspect of us which is material, and the aspect which is mental. There are the 5 khandhas, the 5 aggregates of existence, body, feelings, memories, perceptions, volitional thoughts and consciousness. Another way of understanding Dhamma is by means of the elements, the 4 elements of materiality: earth, fire, water and wind. This is the mind and the body. And our mind and body is always bound up with one of the 4 postures. There are standing, walking, sitting and lying down. So what we do is train ourselves to have sati sampajanya, mindfulness and clear comprehension in all 4 postures. And we practice in this way so as to reach the highest level, the highest understanding of Dhamma. Dhamma is really nature. We're human beings. And this very life of ours has arisen because of kamma, good and unwholesome actions, previous actions. So our lives are based on whatever previous kamma we bring into our life. And as human beings, what we call manussa, we have mind and body, and we have the various organs and sense faculties that we're born with. So everything in the past leads to this point, but what we have to do now is to carry on developing our lives in a very wholesome way, to develop spiritual qualities, the parami. What we're all seeking is called sukha, happiness. Where is it then that we can find this happiness, this sukha? Usually we seek it in the external world. Money, power, prestige, material attainments. We think there must be where our happiness lies. But the thing is, there's no end to it. It's just like food. You can eat your fill today, but tomorrow you will always be hungry. and tomorrow you eat again, but it only lasts so long and you become hungry. You have to eat the next day. So there's another type of food. That's what we call the food of Dhamma. And whoever really tastes and eats the food of Dhamma can be truly full. The food of Dhamma is enough to end all our suffering. We all want things for ourselves. We all have desires. But if we train our minds, we'll see that actually everything belongs to the earth. Everything is really communal property. We experience a sense of freedom in our lives, but if we think that we can actually have things for ourselves and truly own them and be the master of the external world, then that's just simply not true. Because everything is bound up with the three universal characteristics, what we call the three characteristics of anicca, dukkha, anatta. Anicca means impermanence, dukkha is suffering, and anatta is non-self. And so this is really the law of nature. Everything is in process of change. Ourselves, we're born, and we progress through from birth to old age, sickness and death. Our lives, there's always some kind of change being experienced. Everyone's destiny is nothing other than old age, sickness and death. This is a destiny we all share. And so if we train ourselves to see everything in the light of Dhamma, in the light of nature like this, we can live in a much more relaxed way. We see that everything is just a natural process, and as a result, we'll only feel inclined to do those things which are of true benefit to ourselves. We won't get caught up and feel compelled to do things which are stressful and cause us anxiety. We will seek our true inner happiness and ease. So perhaps that's enough for this evening. Maybe too much already. You probably won't be able to remember everything. So I'll conclude this talk now. I simply want to wish that everybody here experiences true happiness and growth in their lives. May you all realize the fruits of your spiritual aspirations, the growth in Dhamma that you're seeking. May you be people who are endowed and cultivate sati sampajanya, it's mindfulness, and clear comprehensions in your lives, so that all of you understand to a deeper and deeper level the teachings of the Lord Buddha, and may all of you one day realize the highest truths of these teachings. That's the path and the fruit, and ultimately Nibbana.